In this video, I'm going to share with you one of my favorite kitchen gadgets of all time, and how it's allowed me to invite my kiddos into the kitchen. That's on this episode of Cooking with Kibby. Cooking with Kibby. We'll make some yummy food. Cooking with Kibby, yeah. Something that rhymes with food. So put on an apron and grab you a knife. You're gonna have the time of your life. Cooking and cutting and chopping and mixing and stirring and cooking and cutting and stuff. Cooking with Kibby. 'Cause Kibby's your cooking dude. Well, hello and welcome to Cooking with Kibby. My name is Chef Kibby, and if you're new to the channel, I wanted to let you know that Cooking with Kibby is here to help you and your family get back in the kitchen cooking and eating together, because I believe life is better when we're cooking together. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button somewhere down here below the screen, and be sure to ring the bell for notifications so that you can be notified the next time I publish a piece of content like this, especially if you're someone who wants to know what sort of pieces of equipment you should purchase and be using in your kitchen. Having the right kitchen appliances can be a huge game changer for your family. I know it has been for mine, and the piece of equipment that I'm going to be sharing with you today is a great example of something that's really changed the way I've been able to cook, not only for my family, but also with my family. And if that's something that's important to you, be sure to stick around to the end of this video, because I'm going to be sharing some personal thoughts on how the Cuisinart 13-cup food processor has allowed me to invite my kids into the kitchen to do prep work with me a lot more than I normally would without it. And so, without any further ado, let's get to the review. In this video, I want to tell you about one of my favorite multitasking kitchen appliances. One of the best investments I've ever made in my home kitchen, and that is the Cuisinart Elemental 13-cup food processor. To me, it feels like it was designed by somebody who, over my lifetime in the kitchen of working with food processors, has been looking over my shoulder and hearing all of the gripes and grudges that I've had with them. My family has always had a food processor. They're just a very versatile piece of equipment. There's a lot of great things about them. But the old style food processor, it's always had its caveats. There's always been some things that we just kind of put up with in having it in order to have the benefits of using the food processor. There's always been those drawbacks. And I feel like this particular unit addresses every single caveat of the old style food processor. I want to explain the improvements that Cuisinart made in this food processor in three specific areas. The first of which being the way the work bowl and the base work together. So with the old style food processor, the base would have a post sticking out in the middle of it, and then the work bowl would have a hole in the middle to allow it to fit over the post. And it was over that post that any attachments would have to fit over in order to sit properly in the work bowl to use. Now, I don't know about you, but it's always been a bit of a hassle getting those attachments into the work bowl, because there was only one way that they would fit. The post was kind of this round shape with a flat end on one side, and so you're always kind of spinning the blade to make sure that it would sit just right. With this work bowl, you have a base that has kind of a gear shape to it. And then the post is actually built into the work bowl itself. So you attach it over the gear, latch it on, and you're ready to put on your attachment. Let's take the standard blade, like this, set it in, it's seated, and it's ready to use. It's just that easy. Now, another thing about this that I want to point out is that with the post being built into the work bowl rather than the base, it creates a really tight seal between the blade and the bottom of the work bowl. You see, with the old style food processor that had the post in the middle, the blade itself was just kind of hanging off the way the post sits in the middle of the attachment. And when that happened, it created an air gap just on the inside of the attachment. And so if you had anything that was very watery, such as lemon juice or water or olive oil, a lot of times when you were running the machine, that liquid would go up the cuff and sometimes would even come out of the bowl while you were using it. With this, you've got a nice airtight seal. There's no chance anything is coming out while you're in the process of using it. Next, I want to talk about the lid. This lid has all the same functionality of the old food processors in that it has the feed tubes here at the top where you could process different types of vegetables. However, unlike the old food processors that we used to have, all of the pieces come out separately as opposed to being all attached together, which it makes it just as versatile, but a whole lot easier to assemble and disassemble, and even easier to clean. And that's a big plus for me. You have the standard blade with which you can do a lot of things, from grinding to pulsing to creating dressings, purees, all sorts of different things. But there's a lot of other things that come along with this Cuisinart unit. Let me show you. This plastic piece here is a dough blade that you can use for whipping up doughs and batters for shortbreads and things like that. One of the ways this Cuisinart 13-cup food processor really shines is in the way that they designed how the attachments attach to the food processor. The old way of doing things had a post in the middle that, again, just seated over that post that was sticking out of the work base, and then had this strange kind of clipping mechanism in order to get the blades on. Here, we've taken that same gear model that they used in the construction of the base in the work bowl and put it here on the post. So you have this gear mechanism, again, seats really easily in the work bowl, and then all you have to do is set the attachment over top. This is yet another way that the Cuisinart food processor got really, really smart. If you've owned a food processor in the past, chances are you've also owned a box filled with all these different blade attachments in order to get the versatility that you wanted out of your machine. Here we have two grating blades in one. You have the small blades on the one side and the large blades on the other. And depending on which direction you place it over the gear is the holes that you're using. Pop on the lid and you're ready to grate. Isn't that great? Sorry, I couldn't resist. If you thought that was great, just wait till you get a load of the slicing blade. Now again, with the older models of food processor, you would have anywhere between 1 and 5 or 6 different blades of different thicknesses. You know, you have your 1 millimeter, 2, 3, 5, and so on and so forth, in order to get different thicknesses of cuts coming out of your food processor. With this, you actually have a sliding scale here on the bottom that as you turn it, the thickness gets wider and wider. So the more you turn, the thicker your cut. It's amazing, right? I am not done yet. I remember when my kids were younger and we used to make baby food out of the fruits and vegetables that my wife and I were making for ourselves for supper. A big 13-cup food processor, that would make a lot of baby food. And so we actually had a smaller food processor as well in order to do that application. And there's other applications as well where you don't need 13 cups of hummus or salad dressing or whatever the case may be. They thought of that too. This is a 4-cup work bowl that fits into the 13-cup work bowl. So you have the post already centered in the middle, and then you have this shorter blade that then fits in over top. Pop on the lid, and you have a mini food processor. Isn't that incredible? There have been times when I'm making supper and I need to process a couple of different things, and so I will use the small one first, and then take it out, put in the regular blade, and just keep going. That way it saves on time, saves on cleanup. It's an amazing piece of equipment. But wait, there's more. Now, up until recently, I didn't even bother getting this part of the food processor out of the box, but it is summertime and we're getting a lot of zucchini out of the garden, and I was trying to think of some different ways that I could use it. And one of the things that we'd heard about that hadn't tried yet was doing a spiralizer, using a spiralizer to make zucchini noodles or zoodles. And I've got a whole other video about that. You can check it out. I'll have a link for it somewhere up there. But then I realized, hey, I have a spiralizer attachment to this Cuisinart food processor. Let's try it out. So you have the blade like so, fits into the unit like that, clips right in, stick that right over the post. Then you have a second style of lid that goes over top of it that is circular, that fits directly over the spiralizing blade. And then you have this attachment here to help push the vegetables down the feeding tube, and there you go. You have spiralized vegetables. Use it on zucchini, carrots, any other cylindrical vegetable. So there you have it, the Cuisinart Elemental 13-cup food processor. There's so many great things about it. The way it goes together, it's easy to assemble, it's easy to disassemble, easy to use, easy to clean, and it's incredibly versatile. Do I need to say anything else? If you're in the market for a food processor, I recommend you give this one a try. You can find it on Amazon. I've got the link in the show notes to this program. It is an Amazon affiliate link, and so if you do click on it and end up buying it or anything else, I will get a small percentage back, and it's a great way for you to say thank you, Chef Kibby, for all that amazing content. If you have any other questions about any other equipment that I have in my kitchen or that I use in my videos, please leave it in the comments section of this video or hit me up on any of the social media channels such as Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. I would love to know how I can be a service to you and your family as you try to have an easier and more efficient time in the kitchen, cooking and eating together. Because, as I always say, life is better when we're cooking together. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you in the kitchen. Okay, so I hope you found that information incredibly informative and helpful to you. If you're in the market for a food processor, I highly suggest you check this one out. I have a link in the section, the information section below me. There's a link to Amazon, so you can go out and purchase one for your family. Now, in this video, I've already shared a lot of information about what the Cuisinart does as far as the practical side of it. You know, what it does, how you can use it in the kitchen. But I also wanted to take an opportunity to mention what it has done for me as a dad, as a biological foster and adoptive dad who wants to spend time in the kitchen with my kiddos. I don't know about your kids, but my children aren't quite ready to be handling sharp knives just yet. That may be the case for yours as well. If you want to get them used to using sharp knives, I've got information for that as well, so be sure to reach out to me. So if you have a child who isn't quite ready to handle sharp knives, but you want to get them involved in helping with the prep work for a meal, having this Cuisinart food processor is a great way to make that happen, because although there are sharp blades involved with the use of it, all of those blades are encased inside of the work bowl and in the lid. You know, those little fingers of theirs are protected, while at the same time, this is a project that you can actually give to them, and you can watch them and make sure that they're using it safely and properly. But you can very quickly get to the point where you'll be able to assign tasks to them that normally you wouldn't be able to give them, but because of this food processor and all of its different accessories and blades and attachments, kiddos can do things for themselves. And I have some other videos that I'm going to be sharing with you. If they have been published already, I will link to them up here to give you some examples of how I've used my kids and this food processor to spend this time of meal prep together with them. If you found this video informative and helpful and inspirational, I highly suggest that you hit the like button, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. I have so much more information that I want to share with you to empower you and your kiddos to be in the kitchen cooking and eating together, because again, life is better when we're cooking together. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you in the kitchen.